It's day 5. You did it. You're all still showing up. This is fantastic. Okay, let's get started. We got a lot to cover today. We might go a little bit over. So if you can stay, great. If you cannot, that's fine. You can catch it on the replay. All the replays are going up today for the whole weekend. So you can catch up. You can watch things again. Please stay muted. Can everyone mute for me, please? You hit the mute all button. And we get a nice, clean recording. Okay, so today we're going to make a plan to keep going. I want you to be able to carry this with you, whether you keep working with me or not. I want you to be able to keep going with the goodness that you were able to cultivate for yourself this week. So the replays will, obviously they're posted in the daily email and in the community. And now on that replay page, all of the replays will be up for the whole weekend through Sunday night. So let's make a plan to get you ready to keep the momentum that you have. My teenager was making fun of me this morning because my words are all gone. I think I used them all up this weekend. So hopefully I won't be stumbling through today trying to come up with the right words, but we'll see how we go. All right, I want to give you 7 different possibilities for you to be able to keep going with this work. You can use some of them, you can use one of them, you can use all of them. These are just ways for you to think about, how am I going to keep this going? So number 1 is you want to keep practicing your new story. Write it down, keep it alive for yourself, journal about it. Every morning, if you already have a journaling practice, or every night, whenever you do it, you can be like, okay, what stories are going through my head right now? What are all the thoughts that I have about my project? Okay, great. Is that a story that is serving me? It's not. Okay, what was my new story? Let me remind myself and let me live into it and explain to myself why it's true and why it's helpful. So you want to keep practicing that new story in any way you can, because we don't just tell a new story once and it stays with us. We have to practice it. We have to repeat it. So that's number 1. Number 2, you can hire a coach. If you've got a project that you absolutely know needs to get done, you can hire a coach. I work with people privately. There are some great book coaches from the Author Accelerator program. Rochelle helps people. She's one of our developmental editors. You can hire her as a coach or an editor. If you have the funds to do it, you can absolutely hire a coach. I'm going to have a mix of free and paid things here, so don't panic that all these are going to be paid. If it's within your means to do so, I highly recommend it. People do not actually produce books completely by themselves. And if they do, probably could have been even better book if you'd gotten some help and some feedback. And you certainly could do it faster when you have support. Another way to get support is to get an accountability partner. So you're buddying up with someone, or to start what we call a SHEG, which stands for Super Hardcore Editing Group. And this is a style of writing group that Anne Hawley, a developmental editor with us, and I developed, oh my God, a long time ago now. Our SHEG has probably been going for 12-ish years. When you get an accountability partner, or when you start a SHEG, you want to make sure that everybody is on the same page about what you're doing and the way that you're doing it. So we actually have a free webinar that I'll put in the Circle community if it's not already there, on how to start a SHEG, and we give you a manifesto and the way that ours works. It's not a typical critique style group. We find that a lot of writers come out with some serious scars, and sometimes those groups can do more harm than good. So first and foremost, your SHEG should be a supportive place of people who are committed to helping you write the book that you want to write, not critiquing your work to get your book to sound like how they would write it, right? And if you have an accountability partner, you want to make sure that you're both skilled enough to understand. I have a funny story. Many years ago, probably like before GPS was as good as it is now, so maybe 17 years ago, I wanted to go to this meditation center. And this was before I had my current level of like discipline and skills that I have now. And I couldn't get myself to go by myself because I was a little bit scared. And so I convinced my friend to go with me. Only in Portland on the west side, it's very hilly and weird, and you can get kind of lost in there. So we could not find this meditation center. And so we just talked each other into going to a fancy grocery store and sitting in the parking lot and eating cookies for 2 hours. Right? So you want an accountability partner who's not just interested in making you super comfortable, where you like metaphorically sit around and eat cookies together. You want an accountability partner where you're really going to be looking out for each other, and providing some, meaningful coaching for one another to get where you want to go. So those are 2 things you can do that are free. Number 4, you can join a group coaching program. I run a group coaching program called Goal Getter School, and we do 3-month group coaching program. It has private calls and it has group calls. I was able to combine, because I've taken a lot of group programs and I've had a lot of private coaching. I'm like, why isn't somebody putting these together? Because then you get the benefits of both and you avoid the pitfalls that come when you're just doing one alone. So that's how my group coaching program works. You set a 3-month goal. I help you scope it appropriately. We look at your real life and your real obstacles, and we create a plan to see you through. And then you get coaching all along the way. So imagine this format, but you have 3 months with me and you have private sessions as well as group sessions. This gives you an idea for the feel of it. There are also a lot of other writers. If I am not your cup of tea, there are a lot of other people out there doing programs who can help you. Number 5, schedule meetings with yourself. So go into your calendar now, whether you use a paper calendar or a digital calendar, and however often you think you need it, maybe it's once a week, maybe it's once a month, maybe it's for sure once a quarter, where you're checking in on yourself and getting like, okay, what was my goal again? How am I doing on that? And it's just a chance to really spend some time looking at, okay, am I still on track? If not, why? What's the story that I'm telling myself that's getting me on track? How can I try and let go of that, process the feelings from it, and then move into a story that is going to serve me better? But when things go off the rails, it sometimes takes a while for us to notice. So by having regular checkpoints with yourself that are going to pop up for you, that will help you notice faster and get back on track faster. So schedule those meetings with yourself and decide what the agenda is going to be. Number 6, this is a technique that is popularized by this wonderful therapist and Buddhist teacher named Tara Brach. And it is a mindfulness awareness tool. And I'm going to run you through it really quick. And this is something you could do with yourself in your meeting, or you could do this whenever you label, right? You find your inner saboteur and you're like, oh, I see what's going on here. So here's how RAIN works. It's an acronym. So the R stands for recognize. So this is what I was talking about earlier in the week when we're like, we want to label it, right? If we have these critical inner thoughts that are coming from our inner saboteur or coming from a part of ourselves that is not on board yet with what we want to do, we recognize it as quickly as we can, right? We want to learn to spot these things as quickly as we can. This is a practice. And then the next thing that we do is allow. Now, remember when I talked about urges, it doesn't mean we give in to the urges, but we allow and we don't resist the fact that, yeah, this is what is happening now. And we just allow it to be that. I'm feeling frustrated. I'm going to allow myself to feel frustrated. I'm feeling lazy. I'm going to allow myself to feel the feeling of lazy, even if I want to change the behavior. Right? So we're making space compassionately for ourselves. We're like, yeah, this is what's going on. I'm allowing this to be the case. Because the minute you don't allow something, you get this layer of resistance up, and it is so draining to try to deny reality. It's just not helpful. So that's why allow is there. And then we have investigate. And usually this is what people do, like, oh, I realize I'm being a lazy piece of shit. Let me just run right to investigation and look at all the reasons why I'm doing the wrong thing, right? This is a different framework to avoid some of the pitfalls of just beating ourselves up. So investigate is going, what's going on, sweetheart? What do we think is happening here? And this is where you have a chance to look at the story that you're telling yourself. I noticed I'm not taking the actions that I need to take. Let me back it up. What am I feeling and what am I thinking to cause that thought? And that's where your investigation happens. You'll be like, oh, because I've fallen back into that old story of, who cares what I have to say? And what I have to say isn't important. So you're investigating and trying to figure out why things are the way that they are right now. And this is a real good place to really identify the story that you're telling yourself and then try to shift it. And then the part that so many people miss in Western culture is the nurture part, right? We're like, oh, I just got to figure out what I'm doing wrong and just flog myself into doing it the right way, right? And that is really like hustle culture. And I'm not into that. I like to get stuff done, but in service of my larger vision for my life. And one way to access that, right, instead of just flogging ourselves into doing better, is nurturing. So as if you were caring for a child or an animal, right, where you were like, oh, honey, I know it's really hard to get this big project done that you've never done before, right? I have a fifth grader, so I'm very familiar with this. I'm not going to flog her into doing it. I'm going to nurture her and help her skill build and provide compassionate container for her to be able to make those shifts and grow in that way. And this is something we do through our entire lives. A lot of you I've seen in circle, like, well, I've never written anything this big before, or I've never written in this genre before, or I've never written fiction. I've always written nonfiction, or vice versa. We want to nurture ourselves and know that we need support and compassion to be able to tackle these big projects. So that is rain. You're recognizing when you're out of alignment with what you want to be doing. You're allowing that is, in fact, what's happening right now. You're investigating what you think is going on by looking at the story that you tell yourself. And then you're nurturing yourself and be able to create that new story that's going to be in better alignment. But it's a compassionate story. Okay. And then finally, method number 7, which I really, really want. This is my agenda, but you're going to do you and what's right for you. But I would love for you to join the Happily Ever Author Club. That is our monthly membership, where this is only one leg of the stool. Like, we did pretty much strictly mindset work this week. And there's a 3-legged stool in Pages and Platforms. So we do mindset, because without mindset, you're not going to get to the other 2 legs. Manuscript. So I've got 2 fabulous developmental editors, Anne Holly and Rochelle Ramirez, who have loads of on-demand stuff that you can access for craft, plus a weekly live call where you can get their help in real time for any questions that you have. So that's Manuscript. And then there's also marketing. Right? We named the company Pages and Platforms because we want to look holistically at everything you need to have a successful writing life. And that's not just the writing, it's also the marketing. And of course, it's the mindset, because without the mindset, you won't finish the other 2 things. You won't do them. Right? I know this from experience of working with thousands of authors at this point. This is why the mindset piece is so key. It is the most important leg of the stool. You're all smart enough to figure out how to write a book. You're all smart enough to figure out how to market a book, but you got shit up here that is going to prevent you from doing both of those things. And I wanted to give people the mental well-being tools and the mindset framework to be able to do these challenging things like write a book and market a book. Which method, I'm going to go back up to the full list, are you going to try? Which method or methods? Tell me in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's build your plan. We've got a 3, that's accountability partner. Jen is 6 and 7. Jen's already in the club. Hey, Jen. Miko is join a group program or SHAG. Brooke is 5, schedule meetings. Yep, we got 3s, we got 7s, we've got 1s. 3, but how? Well, Lulu, you've got a circle community right now that you have access to. So you could put out the call in the circle community and see if anybody wants to be an accountability partner with you. You probably have at least this week in common to understand how to support each other in a positive way, right? You don't want an accountability partner who's just going to sit around and bitch about how hard it is with you, right? We want somebody who's got a philosophical alignment. Ja says 1, 5, 6, and 7. Great. We've got 4s, 5s. Liv says, I have no idea. Liv, just pick one. What's the most accessible one for you, or the one that feels like it would do you the most good? Like, we don't allow our brains to say, I have no idea, because that's your inner saboteur being like, good, as soon as I can get her out of this challenge, whew, I can have my way with her again because she has no plan to keep this going. So it doesn't even matter which one you choose, just choose one. Just even if it's just number 1, where you're committing to keep practicing your story. Cheryl says 3. Amy's in the club. I've been in the club for a few years now and worth every penny for membership. Thank you. Andrea says 5 and 6. Let's see. Okay, good. Everyone's coming up with a plan. Liv, I want to hear from you. I want an amendment in the chat of which one you're going to pick. Zoe's 1 and 5, Maxine's 1 and 7, Linda 5, Irene 1, 5, 6, 7, 3. Good. I want to see if Liv got back to me. Okay, Christy's already in the club. Hey, Christy. Yay, I'm glad to see. This is good. Good. All right, where are you, Liv? Okay, good. Liv's got 3 choices now. 3, 6, and 7. Okay, perfect. So take a minute, write this down for yourself. Sometimes when we're live in a call, we're not like capturing what we want to do. So jot it down on a piece of paper, put it in your phone, put it in your calendar, whatever you want to do. But make sure that you're making a commitment to yourself. You're going to follow through and keep the good things going from this week. Okay. The journal prompt for today is, I would like you to reflect on what you've learned about your inner saboteur or your parts this week and how you can carry on in spite of that. What have you learned this week that you want to keep practicing? What worked the best for you out of everything that you learned this week? Maybe it's 1 thing, maybe it's 2 things, maybe it's 3 things. So that's your journal prompt for today to complete later on. And I want to spend a few minutes talking about the Happily Ever Author Club, and then we will jump into coaching and we'll get through as much as we possibly can, and we'll probably go a few minutes over. I hope that it has been clear to you from this week that I believe that your creative life is important and it's worth some care and feeding, right? Every single one of you. And some of you have had a hard time accepting that that is the case. So I'm assuming that you're here this week because writing is your calling. It's been something that you've been wanting to do for a very long time, or you did it and then you fell off, or you struggled to get it done. And you want the resources and support you need to actually reach your writing goals. So the Happily Ever Author Club is a mix of writing, marketing, and mindset support that will help you create your ultimate author life, however you define it. So when you are trying to move a creative project forward, there are just so many things that can get in the way. So when you have the support of a club, where you have access to me, you have access to 2 developmental editors, you have access to some of the friendliest, most welcoming, most brilliant writers who are already in the club, that is going to give you a touchstone to stay in the game and keep going. And this week was only a fraction of what I have to teach you. Remember, as a bonus for joining the club, you'll also get an advanced reader copy of my book. And then when the book finally comes out, if you're still in the club, you'll get the actual, current up-to-date published version as well. We're still in beta reading right now, but you'll get access to an arc of my book, an advanced reader copy. There's that, and I'm going to go into what is inside the club. It is pretty astonishing. And one of the amazing parts is that it's a really high-touch membership community. Everybody is on a first name basis with Anne and Rochelle and I, and you can reach us on the live calls multiple times a week, and you can reach us in the community. So here are a couple of alumni. JP says, my time in the club has been completely transformational for me. It's been your approach, energy, and commitment that have really amazed me. This 1, 2, 3 combo of marketing, mindset, and productivity is a tremendously potent mix. You're onto something here. So inside the program, there are weekly group calls with Anne and Rochelle, and there are weekly group calls with me. There's a group work session that's led by Rochelle. So if you are neurodivergent and you benefit from body doubling, or you're neurotypical and you just like to write with other people in a Zoom room, we have that. We have a ridiculously extensive training library of book marketing training and writer craft training. And you get access 24/7 to that community of writers that's in Circle. You guys are just getting a little peek of what's in Circle right now, but there's a much broader community. Plus, there's a whole dashboard of training and resources. So any point that you're stuck with in the process, there's something in the club that can help you, and you just have to ask us, and we can point you right to it. So you'll get your story unstuck and finally written. You're going to banish your marketing blocks. I have had people who have come in absolutely hating marketing and then astonished themselves by how much they actually end up liking it, because they had all of these stories they were telling themselves about marketing that were not true, and were able to shift them. You're going to get better results with the time and money that you have invested, right? We can spend years flailing around. We can do a lot of training on ourselves. This is a one-stop shop for the marketing information you need, the manuscript information you need, and the mindset information. Let's see. I want to get to some bonuses. So you're going to get my book marketing workbook from Pages and Platforms. There's not a slide for it, but you're going to get an advanced copy of my book, The Story You Tell Yourself, How to Reach Your Creative Goals by Changing Your Inner Narrative. You're going to get the guide to story from Anne and Rochelle. All of these are downloadable, and you can keep them forever. You can come in for a month, and I'm going to give you a special price on the first month, and you can download anything that's downloadable from the whole club and then say, see ya. That is absolutely fair game. We will not be mad at you. If you do an annual membership, which is one of the options, month to month is what most people choose, but out of the gate, if you want to do an annual membership, you'll get a 1-hour one-to-one call with either Anne, Rochelle, or me. And then you get weekly calls with all of us. Okay, it's the end of the week. I'm probably losing my voice. And I want to put the investment in context for you. So when I started, when I got trained as a book marketer, I was a freelance writer and copywriter. And I was writing my own book, and I started to learn about marketing. And then there was this guy named Tim Grawl who was offering to train this small cohort of marketers. And it was very in line with the copywriting I was already doing and the content marketing. But I'm like, wait, I could do this for writers instead of like banks and spectroscopy companies. So I went and trained with Tim Grawl for a week. This was back in like 2018. And one of the things he said is most of your clients, most of your income is going to come from authors who got a big advance and who are willing to reinvest some of their advance. Because working with us one-on-one for just a coaching call package can run between $500 and $6,000. If I am actually, we also have the Story Path course, which I'll talk about in a second. That on its own retails for $1,000. Anne and Rochelle, if they're going to do a diagnostic of your manuscript, that's $3,000 and up. If you hire me just to create a launch plan for you, but you're going to be the one to execute it, that's $9,000. And for the people where I am running their launches, and me and my team are writing your pitches and doing your social media and organizing everything about your launch for you, that's $30,000 and up. And when Tim told me all of your clients are going to be nonfiction people with big advances, I was like, I don't know if that's who I want to work with, right? Like, I think that would be cool. I'm sure I would learn a lot of cool stuff, but what about all the writers who aren't at that level, who need the help? So that is why we created the club, because not everybody can even afford a manuscript diagnostic. And certainly not everyone can afford me to hire me one-on-one to run your launch. So we wanted to put together all of the resources so that you get the expert level information, but at a price that you can afford at least for a few months, right? So these are the normal membership prices. I'm going to give you a discount on your first month. So you can just come in for a month if you want. But we have 3 membership options. We used to just have the complete level, which is $179 a month. That's got all of the calls, all of the trainings, all of the courses. Because we still want to be accessible, we created a slimmed down version of the membership that is $60 a month. Again, so it was more accessible and still gets you way better access to help than you would have on your own. And then the annual membership is the complete membership, but paid annually. So you pay it all up front, but it comes out to $155 a month. In the core membership, so that's the lowest tier one, you get twice monthly life coaching calls. So what we've done here, I consider these life coaching calls, right? But we actually will expand the topics. If there's, an in-law getting in the way of you sitting down to do your writing, I will life coach you on it. So you get the style of coaching that we've done here this week. You get that twice monthly with me. You get a weekly write-in with Rochelle to keep your butt in the chair. You get mindset trainings. So way more than we've done this week. We get mindset trainings for you inside of that level. You get this amazing prompt document that Rochelle put together, where if you responded to every one of the prompts, you would write the first draft of your novel, and it would actually have a good structure to it right out of the gate. You get monthly writing challenges and marketing challenges. You get that circle community, and you get a monthly story path call so you can talk to Anne and Rochelle every month and clear story blocks. So that's the core membership level. The complete level has everything in core, plus you get a weekly call with Anne and Rochelle. You get the other weekly calls with me. In fact, it's going to be at 12 Pacific today is when I have my Friday mindset call, and there are always replays if you can't make it live, and you can ask a question ahead of time and I can answer it on the call if you can't make it live. You get the story path course dripped out. So right out of the gate, you get the first, I think, 4 or so modules, and then they get dripped out. You get a bunch of marketing courses that I have put in there, including how to get big names to promote your book workshop, author platform quick start course, which is like a $300 course if you just buy it a la carte. You get the scene workshop, how to write way better scenes, which is like $179 if you just buy that as a standalone. And every masterclass we've ever made. So if you go to like the Pages and Platform store on our website, every single one of those things that you could buy a la carte is just in the club. It's just there the first day when you go in. So you can binge watch all of those if you wanted. We have Happily Ever Author Week, which is another event we run where there's an archive of those and so ridiculously much more. You guys can have your first month for 50% off. So that means for the, that was the annual one. So it's basically $30 to come into the core membership. And it is $89, I think, to come into the complete membership. And you can cancel anytime. We're super transparent. Like, we don't hide where to cancel. We're going to send you reminders before your first month is up to make sure that you are all in, or if you want to cancel, you absolutely can. So for annual, if you sign up for that you're committing to a whole year, and paying up front comes out to $155 a month. You get the full story path course, which is like 20 some modules. You get a monthly VIP book marketing call. So that's an extra call. A monthly VIP writing and editing call where Anne and Rochelle do scene reviews. So you have the chance to get your scene critiqued by Anne and Rochelle. And then you also get a private call, 1 hour call with either Anne, Rochelle, or me. That's the annual version. When you enroll, you get immediate access to whatever level you're doing, with the exception of StoryPath being dripped if you're in the core membership at the monthly. And you get all the community and all the resources for your membership level. This is going to save you on having to hire a developmental editor too soon, right? We want to get as close to a good draft as you can. So maybe you just need a developmental editor on a much smaller basis. It's going to save you a lot. You're going to save time and mindset drama of not being able to finish or move forward. You're going to save from multiple expensive courses from other places. That, you know, a lot of people are offering writing, fewer people are offering marketing, and I don't think anybody's offering mindset the way that I'm offering mindset. And if you did want to work with somebody one-on-one, you get a 20% discount on all of our coaching calls and things like that. So you're not paying full price ever. Also, if we do any special events that are paid, you never have to pay extra. Those are just included for you, right? Because we'll do things like the scene workshop. Anybody can buy in when we do that live. But if you're in the club, you just come to that live and you already have the archive of the last one that we did. Also, if you're in the phase where you are publishing your book, you don't have to hire a public relations person because I'm going to teach you how to do it. And it save you so much money and drama because PR is almost never worth it when you do the math. Okay, let me get you some links. And where's my chat? There's the link to join the Happily Ever Author Club. When you click on there, the coupon codes are already applied. If for some reason they're not, let us know, but I have the coupon codes in here somewhere. Here they are. So core 29, if you're coming in at the core membership level or at the complete level, it's comp 89. So that coupon should already be applied. If it's not, let me know. The deadline for joining that at that level for that price off is, I just looked at this yesterday. Somebody just asked that question, so let me get you an answer. I'm pretty sure it's Thursday the 21st. So, and that's, you can join the club at any time, but you won't get the 50% off of the first month. All right, everybody. I had an absolute blast being with all of you this week. I would absolutely love to see you for at least a month in the Happily Ever Author Club. It will not be a waste of your time or money. I promise, promise, promise you. And I really hope you carry through whatever you learned this week and just keep going and be super kind and loving to yourself while still writing anyway. Show up and write anyway. Thank you, everybody. Bye.